you want clean sheets in the morning, you'd better skip this top 10. Simply put, these videos are simply too scary. Number 10. Look behind you. If the only friend you could make at the park was a demon ghost girl, would you still play along? Posted to the r/ghosts subreddit, Redditor MiserableAd1849 explains that the video she's posting is her neighbor's. She writes, their children were playing on a slide and they noted that some kind of face was showed behind their daughter and there weren't other children playing.
Hey, vente.
The video shows a girl going down the slide. It even looks like she's being pushed. She lands at the bottom, knocking into her sister. Well, no one likes to bump into someone at the bottom of the slide. All's good, right? Look more closely at who appears at the top. A ghostly child's face pops up, curtained with dark hair, and the scary figure looks like it gave the girl a push down the slide. Then, mysteriously, the ghostly figure pulls away out of view, instead of taking her turn. The creepiest thing about the figure is its pallid coloring. It's dark out, so colors are not bright, but the other girls appear alive and vivid. Ghost Girl, on the other hand, her coloring is pale and dull. I think that girl might have a ghostly companion. Number 9. Shut the door. Social media influencers and content creators beware. Your next video might attract photobombs of the paranormal variety. Published to YouTube by Trendwave in June of 2019, the scary video shows that even ghosts can be gate crashers. A young woman is filming footage for her channel. As she's talking very nonchalantly to her viewers, the door behind her swings shut with great force. But let's rewind back. Not only did the door slam, but something appears to have slammed it. Look closely at the top of the door frame, and you can see the cause. A creepy, transparent looking face peeks around the corner before pulling out of sight again, and then the door slams shut. A young woman approaches the door to see who or what was there, but she doesn't look alarmed or concerned, which makes us think she found nothing. But I'm sure you're alarmed. In fact, you might have just wet the bed. Number 8. Batty Poltergeist. Don't you hate it when you think you're alone, but you discover you're very much not at full volume? Published by Dark Ghost Paranormal in May of 2020, this abandoned house doesn't seem to be empty after all. After entering the attic, this Russian paranormal investigator comes across these creepy old-timey strollers with plastic baby dolls inside. This one appears to have black lips and eyes. In one room, the investigator sets up his camera when this happens. Something is shaking aggressively, almost like a washing machine. The shaking goes on for a while, then a shadow disturbs the red light in the next room before the light shuts off completely, like a breaker went off. At the same time, the shaking stops. Later, from that same room, something is heard being thrown. It sounds like a rock or something small. The investigator soon enters the scene with his flashlight to adjust the camera. He ends up shooting film on his smartphone while lots of animal noises can be heard squeaking in the background, likely coming from these bats flying overhead in the next room.
Снимаю сейчас на смартфон, потому что все камеры стоят там.
These same bats will later come after him, flying straight at him like Dracula. Shortly after, the lights go out a second time and the investigator is talking. He stops short when he hears something. He turns and in the doorway you can clearly see a shadow fall. What is standing in that doorway?
Oops.
Perhaps it causes what happens next. Again, while filming, the bats circling the ceiling. In the red room, something is thrown across the room. This sends the investigator running out of there fast. He leaves the room but then returns for his equipment. Now that's true dedication. Would you be able to re-enter a room where an aggressive, angry ghost has made itself known? Number 7. Creepy critter. That oil spill on the ground may not be what you think. Published to Thriller Tamisha in July of 2021. This creepy critter was caught on CCTV footage, at first blending into random splotches on the surrounding concrete and asphalt, but soon it pops up from its camouflage position and starts crawling, scuttling about. When it first appears on the scene, it bear crawls across the pavement before standing to thrash at a poster on the wall. After the poster is torn, it scurries off again. Zooming in on the creature reveals it's even creepier close up. The scary thing looks humanoid, but its eyes are glowing, its mouth is wide, and its face is not well defined. Do you know what this creepy critter might be? All we know is that it clearly doesn't look like the animated series. Treese, is anybody here an anime fan? Number 6. Who's in your back seat? You're sitting in the driver's seat of your car when you feel eyes on you from the back seat. YouTuber Dark Path Scary's video published in June of 2021 reveals whose eyes those are that are burning into the back of your head. In the video, a young man is taking a phone call and doesn't notice this demon child with glowing eyes glaring at him. It sits there silently, watching its victim with glowing, kohl-rimmed eyes. When he does finally notice, he leaps across the seat and out of the video, while the mysterious creature ducks out of view. This video serves as a reminder, the next time you don't feel alone in your car, look over your shoulder, because you may not be alone. Number 5. Britain's Area 51. The UK has its own version of Area 51, known as the Burlington Bunker. Atlas Obscura describes the 34-acre subterranean bunker. The mile-long bunker complex contains 60 miles of road and in its time was self-sustainable, fitted with a kitchen, cafeteria, hospital, offices, and much more, all below the ground. Needless to say today, it's the perfect place for an urban exploration adventure, which is exactly what the crew of Dark Arts TV set out on in this scary video. Published in November of 2020, the channel writes, "We explore above surface at highly sensitive sites before heading over 100 feet underground into Box Mine to find the infamous secret red door that leads into Burlington, Area 51 UK. The group attempted to explore the bunker the previous year but were stopped by security before they even entered. And yet they returned for more, and this time they wouldn't be disappointed. As they walk through the woods, a black hooded figure is seen lurking behind the fence.
Police say it's nothing to do with us anymore. We don't use this place. We're not underground. There's nothing to do with us.
He's visible for just a moment before walking off into the thick trees. The figure looks like it appears out of thin air. Is it security personnel yet again, a ghost? Or are they not alone on the premises? After entering underground, it's clear this place is not stable. A thick beam of wood is propping up the rock above, and in the background, a male whisper is heard.
Down too. On you, bro?
Yeah, on me, bro. Wow.
What it says is inaudible, and it's unclear if it's just one of the boys, but it's certainly creepy. Later, as they're climbing over the large chunks of cement and rocks, the camera is directed towards a dark tunnel to the right. There's a light glowing down there. It might be a flashlight, or it could be the light at the end of the tunnel. At one point, they find a Christmas tree, which was clearly set up for a party. It looks like a little fire was even pitched with a small makeshift brick fireplace. Chestnuts roasting on an open fire, anyone? They continue on and find these strange brick people set up as roadblocks, or the unofficial guards of the bunker.
Roblox. Just moving down short.
Although they look quite harmless, they're actually pretty creepy. The group stops short when they hear something that sounds like rumbling. While they're talking, a whistle is also heard in the background.
Yeah. So you've got the throwing of bones and now you've got the throwing of bricks. Well done.
Hey,
Get in there. Get in.
They finally arrive at the infamous red door, and this strange alarm starts going off. It sounds like the alarm on a child's plaything. A thick teal smoke is then emitted. They think it might be harmless and devise to scare them, but decide it's not something they should be breathing in. They also start to feel lightheaded and they can hear something behind the red doors. They believe it could be dogs.
Dude, that's mad trippy though.
Yeah, that definitely sounds like a dog.
Yeah, dogs.
Whether dogs have been sicked on them or not, they should probably think about getting out of there before they inhale too much of this mysterious gas. Number 4. Poltergeist Party. Lainey and Ben's crazy haunted house doesn't hold back. Published to their YouTube channel in July of 2021. The following videos are sure to make you wet the bed. In the first video, Ben says he made it home before Lainey and came upon this.
And I've come into this. Smash mug.
The cupboard is open and a mug is smashed on the kitchen floor. The poltergeists that haunt the place must have had one of their signature parties. Ben notes he has CCTV cameras set up in his home, so they can quickly check out what happened. And here's what happened. The cupboard slings open and a mug launches out, smashing to pieces on the floor and making quite a racket. The poltergeists in Lainey and Ben's house are some of the most active we've ever seen. What do you think these mysterious spirits are up to? Whatever it is, as YouTuber Sue Smith suggested, it's probably time to invest in some shatterproof mugs. Number 3. Possessed Lady. What would you think if someone ran at you backwards? Published in July of 2021, this lady in red is about to take Scary to a whole other level. Wandering down the street with her arms spread wide, the woman is wailing at the sky. She walks slowly forward but seems to have attracted a crowd, who all enter the street to see what's going on. That's when she starts running at them, backwards and with her arms still spread wide. The image is beyond creepy. Needless to say, this alarms every one of the onlookers in her path, who all run away as fast as they can. But the wailing lady doesn't capture anyone. Instead, she collapses backwards on the ground. Is this woman out of her mind? Is she possessed? Or is this some kind of joke? All I know is she definitely needs some assistance. Number 2. Middle of nowhere mansion. This abandoned mansion, once owned by millionaires, is plopped right in the middle of nowhere. The perfect place for ritualists to set up shop. Published to YouTube by Steve Ronan in February of 2021. This scary video explores the site of these rituals. Before heading inside, Steve gets some crazy vibes from this abandoned car parked out front. Covered in snow, the car looks as though it's been in an accident. Its hood is bent out of shape. Upon entering the place, they see it's been torn apart, the homeowner's property scattered across the floor. They come across an old suitcase with a rose pink gown inside alongside some worn slippers. Although the gown looks new, the slippers look very old, judging by their style and their use. Atop the fireplace is a nativity scene. The fireplace itself appears to be a false fireplace without a chimney, purely there for decoration. On a rocking chair in another room is a mysterious book called The World's Last Mysteries. On the cover is an Aztec sunstone. Steve says he's going to look for this book as it might lead him to new places to explore. And finally, in the bedroom, the star of the show, a ritualistic symbol is painted into the floor.
I found this satanic symbol that everyone keeps talking about here. Here, there used to be like candles and a bunch of weird artifacts and even like mouse and rats and animals.
Steve says there were once candles, creepy artifacts, and rats and other animals surrounding this symbol, but now stuff is piled over top of it, and the room looks like it's been cleaned up, but the symbol still lingers here. Perhaps no one has been able to get rid of it, no matter how hard they tried. I've got a challenge for you. Since you've made it this far, why not like this video and hit subscribe in the next 5 seconds? Because I upload 4 new scary videos every week. If you're curious about what I look like in real life, then go to my Instagram at DylanIsChillinYT and tap that follow button to find out. Number 1. Open and shut case. While it's scary enough to capture paranormal footage on video while you're not in the room, it's even scarier when it happens right in front of you. Published to YouTube in September of 2015, Michael D. McGee writes, I was sitting at my computer when I caught the door opening and closing out of the corner of my eye. It kept starting and stopping, so when I finally got my camera, this is what I captured.
Just watch it. There it goes. This is what I was doing. It's just gone back and forth, back and forth.
At the beginning of the video, just as Michael said, the door is opening and closing in a very strange manner. It doesn't slam shut like a draft has pushed it closed. Watch right before the door opens, a shadow appears briefly on the cardboard box to the left.
This is what I was doing. It's just gone back and forth, back and forth.
Well, you might think it's Michael's shadow. He's holding the camera very still, so we can't imagine he's the one who casted it. Could it be that he's not alone? Michael enters the room to investigate. There's no one under the bed or visible in the room, but there does appear to be a handprint smudged on the closet mirror. He looks through the wardrobe and everything else but finds nothing. There are no windows open in the room either, which confirms a draft is unlikely. Michael tells the spirit in the room that it's unwelcome. Maybe the spirit is thinking the same of him. Are you sure you're brave enough to watch this list? Because these scary videos are too scary to watch at all.